Hello students. The third role is known as androecium. You can see some structures, thread-like structures here. These thread-like structures have a knob-like structure at the top. So this complete structure is known as stamen. One complete structure is called stamen. And collectively they are known as androecium. It means androecium is a male reproductive part of the plant and stamen is its unit. Now stamen has a structure like this. In stamen, a knob-like structure is present at the top and a thread-like structure is present here, right? This knob-like structure, this structure is called pollen sac, in which pollen grains are produced. This is pollen sac, and you can see there are two pollen sacs and collectively they are known as anther. Okay? And this structure is called filament. So it is made up of anther and filament, and anther has two pollen sacs inside which pollen grains are produced that contain male gamete in it. So this androecium portion is a male reproductive part of the plant. Then comes gynoecium. Gynoecium is this structure you can see here. This structure is gynoecium structure. Gynoecium is a female reproductive part of the plant. Now this gynoecium is made up of carpel. Unit of it is called carpel. This carpel consists stigma, style and ovary. This portion is called stigma, upper one. This is called style and this portion is called ovary. Inside ovary, eggs are produced or female gamete is produced that fuses with the male gamete during the fertilization to form zygote. Now come to pollination. Pollination is transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma of a flower. Because I told you that anthers contain male reproductive part and here ovary contain egg. So it is for the fertilization, it is compulsory that the pollen grain reaches the egg and fuses with it. So this transfer of pollen grains from anther to stigma is known as pollination. It is of two types, self-pollination and cross-pollination. Self-pollination is when the pollen grains from the anther reaches the stigma of the same flower, or they reaches from the anther or the stigma of another flower that is present on the same plant. That is called self-pollination. I am repeating, when the pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of a same flower, or when the pollen grains are transferred from the anther to the stigma of another flower present on the same plant, then this type of pollination is known as self-pollination. Second type of pollination is called cross-pollination. Now when the pollen grains from the anther reaches the stigma of another flower present on another plant, but that plant should be of the same species, right? Then that type of pollination is known as cross-pollination. Now pollination can be carried out by several agents. Like pollination can be carried out by wind. It means wind can carry the pollen grains and take them to another flower, or insects can carry, or some animals can carry, or it can be carried out by water also. So let us discuss the three important agents of pollination. Number one is pollination by insects. Now when the pollination is by insects, then the flowers need to be large, they need to be showy, they need to be colored also so that they can attract insects. So when the insects come and sit on the anther of the flower, the pollen grains are stick to their legs. It means the pollen grains need to be sticky also. And when these insects sit on another flower, then these pollen grains are transferred to the stigma of that flower. So the insect pollinating flowers are large, colored, having colored petals. These are scented also. They produce nectar also to attract insects, right? And also these flowers produce sticky pollen grains. Second is pollination by wind. When the pollination is by wind, then there is no need to be large and showy and colored flowers. Generally, the flowers are white in color. They are small in size. They are lightweight so that they can be easily carried away by wind. The stigma is generally the hanging so that it can easily take the pollen grains from the wind. So characteristics are they have long anthers producing outside the flower so that pollens move to stigma of the other plant easily along with the moving wind. And pollens produced by wind pollinated plants are lighter so that they can be carried away easily. These plants produces large quantity of pollen grains so that to increase the probability of fertilization. Then comes pollination by water. Pollination of water, generally the specific gravity of the pollen grains are similar to water so that they can easily float just below the water. They float. In some cases, the male flower floats until it reaches the female flower. So the characteristics are in water pollinated plant, male and female flowers are borne on separate plants. Pollen grains are produced by these plants in large quantity. Flowers in these plants are lighter and small so that they can float on the surface of water. So you can see when the pollination is carried out either by insects, by wind or by water, the plant has to produce large number of pollen grains. So for cross pollination, plant has to produce large number of pollen grains, while in self pollination there is no need to produce large number of pollen grains.